Hi my angels, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to get this Get Ready With Me up, but it's finally here. I had so many problems with voiceovers and all this crazy stuff behind the scenes, but if you'd like to see how I got ready for this look, then please keep watching. So first of all, I started off by moisturizing my skin using the Drops of Light moisturizer from The Body Shop, and I'm just putting this all over my face so that my skin is nice and prepped before we go in with like makeup and stuff like that. And for eye cream, I used my favorite Liz Earle SUPERSKIN eye cream. I love putting this on before I put any kind of like full glam makeup on, just because I find that my concealer and my makeup just sits so beautifully on top. And for primer, I use the POREFESSIONAL Matte Rescue from Benefit, and I'm also putting that all over my face and letting it sit for a few minutes before moving on to the rest of the base. So for foundation, I actually used the new Hourglass Vanish Foundation, and oh my god, I am obsessed. It probably has to be like my favorite stick foundation ever. It is so creamy. It's kind of like a liquid foundation in the form of a stick. It's just incredible. So if you're looking for a new like foundation, I would definitely check this out. And I'm basically blending that all in place using my damp beauty blender and a little bit of the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation, which is like a concealer and foundation in one. Once I'm happy with that, I moved on to a little bit of lip balm. I used the Bite Beauty Agave lip mask, and I love the taste of this. It's so nice. It's basically always in my handbag. So yeah, I'm just putting some of that on and then moving on to the Urban Decay D-Slick. I'm spraying this all over my face. And then what I like to do is I grab the same beauty blender that I used for my foundation, and I basically push that setting spray into my skin. And I really find that this locks my base in place and it makes my makeup last really long. So definitely try this little trick out if you guys are looking for like longer lasting makeup. I'm so sorry, I'm like talking halfway through. But yeah, we were getting ready for a night out in London. So yeah. Next up, I'm moving on to brows. My brows were already a little bit filled in during the day, so I just kind of went over them, and then here I'm just cleaning them up ever so slightly with some concealer. And once I was done with that, I did also set them in place, just because I wanted to make sure that they had a good kind of like staying power, so they stayed in place all night. And I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Then for eyes, I went on to use the Benefit Air Patrol as my primer. This I'm basically just applying with a brush because I just find it so much easier that way rather than using it straight from the pen. For eyeshadows, I used my Tartelette palette, and I took this colour here first, and I basically applied this all over my eyelid to not only set the primer, but it also makes all of the other eyeshadows that we put on top really easy to blend. Then taking this shade right here, I'm putting that into the crease, and we're basically building up the transition shade and transition color. So I'm going in with this shade first into the both of the creases of my eyelids, and then I'm taking this slightly darker brown, and I'm also basically adding that on top so that there's a nice kind of like gradient of color going on both of my eyes. And again, as always, just making sure everything's nice and blended out. So I wanted like a smoky, halo-y, like kind of vibe with my eyes, so I took this shade right here and I started building up the outer and inner corners of my eyes. So as always, I'm just using like a flat kind of edge of some foundation or primer bottle, anything you want which has a nice sharp edge. You can also use like a bank card or any kind of card, but yeah, I'm building that up and then also doing the same thing in my inner corners, leaving the middle bit of my eyelid blank. And then basically we're going to intensify that, so I'm taking this shade and I'm just adding it on top of the first kind of shade we added to create this halo look. And this is just going to intensify the whole thing, and as always, I am going to go in with more colors like throughout the tutorial to make sure that everything's looking nice and exactly how I want it. I was so inspired by this color. This is Rebel by Makeup Geek. It's such a beautiful two-tone color. I actually thought it would look a lot more duochrome on the eyes, but basically I put this on to the center of my eyelids first. And I'm really pressing that colour in. And because it wasn't as gold as I wanted it to be, I actually went over the top of that with the Laura Geller Gilded Honey Highlighter. So I'm basically packing that straight on top in the centre just to add some more dimension to the eye. And I really did want like a really nice kind of like two-tone kind of eye going on my eyelid, but still a halo eye at the end of it. So once I was done with that, I just went ahead and intensified the inner and outer corners just so that everything looked really nice and coherent, and it wasn't just looking very just all blended away. I wanted it to be quite intense. And then once I was happy with the ways that was kind of looking, I went in with this shade again and just basically put that into the crease and make sure all the colors were nice and blended out. If you guys have watched any of my other tutorials or Get Ready With Me's, you guys will know I love doing this. And then I'm also taking a clean brush as well, a fluffy blending brush, and make sure everything's nice and seamless. So for concealing and highlighting, I used my favorite Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I absolutely love this stuff. I'm putting this on the usual areas of my under eyes and on my face where I like to not only conceal but highlight as well. You guys know the drill. And once I've got that in the areas that I want it to be in, I'm again blending that all away using the pointy end of my beauty blender. And you want to make sure you're kind of like pressing the product in rather than really kind of moving it around the face too much, otherwise all your hard work is just going to go to waste. So yeah, once I was happy with the way that everything was nice and blended, I went in with my Well People Invisible Powder and I actually baked. And I'm going to say something very controversial, but I hate baking. It makes my skin look so dry, it makes it look so cakey, so I didn't leave it on for that long, but it was very, very hot, so I wanted to make sure that, you know, all my makeup was nicely set and it wasn't gonna kind of like slip around anywhere. So I literally left it on for like, not, I'm gonna say like 30 seconds. As you can see, I just checked to see how cakey it was looking, but I really went to town and blended it all away. So using the Giorgio Armani Liquid Bronze, which is my favorite liquid bronzer of all time, I'm just putting that in the usual areas that I like to bronze up my skin. After this tutorial, well, after I finished this Get Ready With Me, I did go ahead and slightly change my makeup. I just added a bit more bronzer because I just felt like the baking just was too much for my skin. So I'm taking the Urban Decay Beach Bronzer and I'm going on top of the areas where we applied the liquid bronzer to set everything in place. And I love this brush. It's from Sephora and it is amazing. I thought it'd be a gimmick, but it's amazing. Once I've got all the bronzer in the areas that I wanted it to be, I'm taking the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette and I'm taking this shade right here and I'm going ahead and highlighting on top of the areas basically where we concealed. And this is just going to add more of a highlighted effect. What I'm doing is I'm getting quite a bit of product and I am basically pushing it on top of the areas where we applied the concealer. And then I'm taking this shade right here and basically going ahead and adding it to the contour areas. And right now it basically looks crazy and it looks like I've done my makeup in the dark, but what we're going to do next, I actually went in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Setting Powder, I think that's what it's called, and I'm basically buffing all of that away in my skin, and this is just going to give you a really nice kind of airbrushed look, especially in pictures. So yeah, I'm just buffing everything away until I'm happy with the way it's looking. And then I realized I forgot to contour my nose, so I'm taking that same contour shade that I used on my face and I'm just going ahead and contouring my nose, and then blending those two lines away with this Zoeva brush, and then going over my nose area with my beauty blender just to make sure everything is looking nice and seamless. For cheek highlight, I used the same Laura Geller Gilded Honey. I love this highlighter. Look at the glow on the cheeks. Like, I'm using natural lighting here so you can see what it looks like. It is so beautiful. So I'm putting that on the tops of my cheeks and also into my brow bone. And then to make that really kind of like intense, I'm adding my TATCHA Luminous Dewy Skin Mist and I'm spritzing that onto the kind of areas where we have basically applied that Gilded Honey. And then I'm just going over with another damp beauty blender to make sure it's nice and set into the skin, and it basically makes it look more intense and like liquidy. And I'm just going over the top with those areas with the same Gilded Honey, and then also down the bridge of my nose and my Cupid's bow as well. For blush, I use this BALM Beach Blush from the BALM Cosmetics, and it's a really beautiful, like my cheeks but better kind of flush of colour on the cheeks. It's very, very natural. There's a very kind of like natural undertone and a natural look to this blush. It doesn't really look like you're wearing much product on your cheeks. So for the rest of the eyes, I took my Perversion eyeliner by Urban Decay. and I'm lining my upper waterline and my lower waterline. And basically, once I'm done with that, we're going to go and smoke out the lower lash line. So I'm taking a mixture of these two colors here, and I'm basically smoking out that lower lash line because I wanted like really intense eyes for this look, because I was wearing a really like nice black dress, and I just thought it would really complement them as well. Once I was happy with that, I moved on to mascara. I basically only applied mascara to my lower lashes because I had mascara on from earlier on in the day, and I didn't really feel like I needed to put anything extra on top because I was going to go in with some falsies. So once I'm happy with the way that my lower lashes are all looking, I did go in with my lips next. I'm taking the NYX lip liner in the shade brown, and I'm aligning my lips and also filling them in. If you guys are after some really good quality but affordable lip liners, then NYX is definitely the place to be, and there's so much more available now here in the UK, so we are definitely getting up there like with America. I'm taking this JOUER lip cream in the shade Creme Brulee. I'm just putting this straight on top of the lip liner, and it created this really nice warm nude color on my lips, and I loved the final result. I'm going back in with the Laura Geller Gilded Honey because I just kind of felt like, I don't know, I felt like I needed a bit more of a pop of gold in the inner corners, not the inner corners, in the center of my eyelid, because I was going to be wearing a gold choker, and I really wanted to complement that with the kind of like the black dress. So just kind of intensifying that, as you can see here. And then I'm going in with my Samantha lashes from Huda Beauty, and I'm making sure that these are nice and stuck on to my lashes. I decided to create a fake wing using the NYX mousse liner. Basically, I create a wing on the outer corner of my eye and basically blend that line into the rest of my kind of like lash band. It's such a great way to cheat this like whole like winged eye look without actually having to do a winged eye. Does that even make sense? It made sense in my head. I'm really sorry for that it didn't. But then I did decide to slightly drag that line into the inner corners of my eyes as well, just so that it's nice and like even all the way through my eyelid. Now taking the Urban Decay De-Slick setting spray, I'm making sure that all my makeup is nice and set. And in the next clip, you will see my fancy choker that I wore on the night out. This is actually from ASOS. I love it. And although my hair was already straight, I just went over the areas kind of like around my hairline, because they just seem to have a mind of their own, and they always like to get really like wavy and kinky, so I'm just making sure that they're nice and straight, and that I'm happy with the way that it's all looking. And I don't really have a parting, I'm always playing with my hair, so just left it as that. And then for perfume, I used my favorite YSL perfume, which is the Supreme Bouquet. It is so gorgeous. I absolutely am obsessed with it still. And then I'm wearing my positivity bracelets. I'll leave a link to them in the info box below, because we've had a massive restock. And that, you guys, is the end of this Get Ready With Me. I'm so sorry it took so long to upload. You have no idea how much drama I had to actually do this voiceover. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this Get Ready With Me, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!